Deranged to his contemporaries, utterly genius to historians, English mathematical pioneer Charles Babbage, the father of computing, explores some of the most vital contributions to modern-day technology. In 1821, Charles Babbage, with his friend John Herschel, encountered inaccurate mathematical tables while proofreading them for the Royal Astronomical Society. While analyzing the flawed tables, he exasperately exclaimed, "I wish to God these calculations had been executed by steam." This marked the beginning of Babbage's exchange of a theoretical possibility to create the first automated mathematical machines. This seed of an idea would finally take root in the 20th century and cause a technological revolution. Charles Babbage was born in London on December 26, 1791, becoming one of 4 children fathered by Benjamin and Betsy Babbage. In 1808, the wealthy Babbage family moved to a large house in Teignmouth, a town about 175 miles southwest of London. After they arrived, Babbage became deathly ill with a fever, taking over a year to recover. After his recovery, Babbage applied to Cambridge. He was accepted and started attending Trinity College at Cambridge in October of 1810. In 1814, Charles Babbage married Georgiana Whitmore, with whom he had 8 children. Around this time, Babbage encountered an idea of making calculation mechanical in order to make the creation of mathematical tables much more accurate. At this time, scientists, navigators, engineers, surveyors, actuaries, and many other professions relied on printed mathematical tables to perform calculations requiring more than a few figures. Babbage exchanged his ideas to create this machine that would do the job of making mathematical tables through a letter to Sir Humphrey Davy. In this letter, he stated, "The intolerable labor and fatiguing monotony of a continued repetition of similar arithmetical calculations first excited the desire and afterwards suggested an idea of a machine which, by the aid of gravity or any other moving power, should become a substitute for one of the lowest operations of human intellect." Babbage began planning this device, coming to call it the difference engine. Henry Colebrook, a contemporary mathematician of Babbage, said of his engine, "The invention to which I am adverting comes in place of mental exertion. It substitutes mechanical performance for an intellectual process."
It is essentially 7 stacked up adding machines, and by adding machines, I mean literally that. Not adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, square rooting, natural logarithms, etc. machines. I mean adding. Okay? And it uses a method called the method of finite differences for evaluating polynomials. In the day, you did complex calculations by looking up things like sines, cosines, arctangents, logarithms, etc. in big tables. The tables were computed by people. And the vast majority by number of those people were doing what this machine does. Adding a number to another number, that number to another number, that number to another number, that number, up to the end, to the result, and then starting back again.
Babbage received substantial funding for this machine from the government, about £17,500. The government became frustrated with Babbage when work was coming too slowly on his engine due to Babbage making foolish decisions, such as taking a year-long tour of Europe in the middle of his work. Babbage encountered troubles when the British government suspended funding for his difference engine in 1832, finalizing the project's end 10 years later after an agonizing wait period. The government refused to keep funding this project because they said that Babbage had yet to finish his whole difference engine, which he had only made a small prototype of. While this was going on, Babbage was having a new revelation. Charles Babbage exchanged his plans for completing and funding the difference engine for his impatient request to start using his funds to build his new idea, the analytical engine. His plans to make this device are now known to be the first encounter with computers. He envisioned a machine that could be programmed using punched cards, an idea borrowed from the jacquard loom used for weaving complex patterns in textiles. In addition to being programmable due to the punch cards, his analytical engine explored other features that would later appear in what we now call computers, including what he called a store, which is now called memory, and the mill, now often known as a processor. It was also capable of functions for which we have modern names: conditional branching, looping, microprogramming, parallel processing, latching, polling, and pulse shaping. Though Babbage, of course, didn't use these modern terms. The engine explored a variety of outputs, including hard copy printout, punched cards, graph plotting, and stereotypes, which are hot trays of soft material into which results were pressed, creating molds for printing plates. Ada Lovelace, who collaborated with Babbage and is often described as the first computer programmer, explored the analytical engine's potential beyond the manipulation of numbers, noting that it might act upon other things besides number. The engine might compose elaborate and scientific pieces of music of any degree of complexity or extent. Charles Babbage also encountered an idea to exchange his previous plans for the complex difference engine with the new plan for an improved model he called the difference engine number 2, which he completed the plans for before he died in 1871. Today, a working model of this engine rests in the Science Museum in London, completed by a team led by Doron Swade in 2002.
The engine itself weighs 5 tons. It consists of 8,000 parts made of bronze, cast iron and steel, and it measures 11 foot long and 8 foot high. It's operated by cranking a handle. What it does is it calculates and tabulates the value of any 7th order polynomial, a class of mathematical expressions, to 31 decimal places. It not only calculates that with unerring accuracy, it also prints an inked hard copy as a record.
Although Babbage never fully completed any of his engines, he is revered as the inventor of the first computer, and rightfully so. His works with the analytical engine, consisting of over 500 drawings, which were accurate and plausible, were the plans for the first computer. Charles Babbage had impact in his time, getting substantial economic assistance from the government. Because he needed this funding, Babbage had to become a politician, even unsuccessfully running for Parliament twice to promote his cause. Babbage was hated by most due to his aggravating habits in order to make his work more efficient, such as his searing hate for street musicians. Babbage has had vast impact in present time. The computer that Babbage explored has now started a billion-dollar industry, employing millions in the United States alone. Babbage helped create an industry that connects us all, any time of day, with billions owning devices that allow them to do so. Babbage helped create an industry that runs governments, with many first world countries holding legions of crucial information in computers. Babbage's ideas have changed us immeasurably, revolutionizing our world.